that they can use the review on their test, I will let you guys do that, since R has been a really hideous, like, long chapter. So we'll write notes on here that you can use. So there you go. They hopefully did number 1, maybe.
Huh?
Let's fill it in.
How many did I miss?
Graph. Let's go to interval notation real quick. Let's do that one first. Okay. 2,8 and paren bracket. That's what he looks like. Okay. This is like an open circle. This is like a closed circle. Okay. Now, when you do set builder notation, it does not. It looks a little bit different than the middle one, right? Because you have 2 numbers. So you have a 2 over here and an 8 over here and an X in the middle. That's how your set builder notation should look. Yeah. Okay. The symbols in between them should go the same direction. They should go like this. So this says like X is greater than 2 and X is less than 8, right? But which one's equal to? By the 8, right? So we put that. That's what your set builder notation is going to look like. Got it? Okay, now, going from the second one, do you do the graph first or the interval notation first?
Graph.
I do the graph first. Okay, so let's slap -2 in the middle there. It doesn't really matter. Open or closed?
Open.
To the
Left. Right.
right. X is greater than. To the right. Okay, now interval notation. I just go from left to right. What's my left piece? -2. What's the right number? Infinity. He's going to infinity. Okay, then I do brackets, parens. Which one? Paren. Got it? Okay, this one. Let's graph him as well. Let's graph him first. I only have one number, right? And it is 6. And it is a closed circle. Do you guys understand why it's a closed circle? And he's going to the left because he's going negative infinity. So there's what he looks like. Okay? Set builder notation. X is less than or equal to 6. How's that? Are we doing okay? No? 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 You're struggling?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah? Okay, do you want to see another one?
Oh, wow.
How do you to the top set builder? Yeah, so the top one is the only one where you have 2 numbers because otherwise the arrow's going forever.
Yeah, it doesn't show your arrow.
In one direction?
Keep going.
Yeah, so this is just saying that you're going in between 2 and 8. So this is the one where set builder, you're going to have an X that's in the middle. And you've seen it look like this before. Enough. Yeah? So 2 and 8 are your left and right down. So this is just like, okay, this is combining. Aubrey, this is combining X is less than or equal to 8 and X is greater than 2, combining those into 1. Does that make sense? Okay, so X is less than or equal to 8 is this part right here. X is greater than 2, X is greater than 2. It's like reading it backwards. So if you want to, you can put it like this technically. If you wanted to put those 2 in the same box, that's fine. Does that make sense? That one was kind of a little bit of a struggle. That little box. Okay? Okay, let's go to the next thing. This one is, what does the U mean? Union. And what's union stand for? We'll write it down. Both together. Both together.
Teachers, please dismiss the cross-country runners.
Oh, goodbye, cross-country runners. Okay? What does this little guy mean? What's the A mean? And, which is an intersection. I can't spell. Intersection.
It's under Mackenzie's.
Okay? What do you do for intersection? What they have in common? Have in common. Okay? So intersection is what they have in common. Union is what they both have together. Like you combine them all into one. Okay? So, in the marriage union of person A and person B, what do they all have? I have this, my husband has this, so together in union we have
Everything.
all of them, right? So just list them in order. What comes first? -6, then -5, then -2, then 0, then 1, then 5, then 6. Was that a lot?
Yeah, sure.
Was that too fast? Union is all listing all of them together. All of them together, okay? The intersection is what they have in common. There's only 2 numbers that they have in common. 0 and 1. That's where they intersect. That's where they overlap. If you want to put overlap here. That would be another word that would be good. Yeah? Questions about that one? Are we doing okay there? The next one's the tricky one. I feel like these number ones are maybe a little bit easier, but the next one's the tricky one. And I have to graph it. Okay, so again, this is a union and this is an intersection. Okay, you want me to write those down again?
No.
No, you can see them from up above. Okay, so I'm just gonna graph in between these two what they look like. Okay, so we have two numbers involved, -2 and 3. -2 goes here, 3 goes here. All right,
They're both
so if x is less than
open circle.
3, it's open circle and it's going to the left, right? B is x is greater than or equal to -2. So this guy right here, and he is to the right. Okay?
They own everything.
So if I own everything bigger than -2 and my husband owns everything less than 3, but not including 3, do we own everything?
Yes.
Do we own 3?
Yes. 'Cause
Why?
that-
Why do we own 3?
Because the negative.
Because I own 3, right? I have bigger than -2, which includes 3, right? So even though my husband doesn't have 3, he has everything less than 3, I still have the 3, right?
How do you determine who's the husband?
I don't care. It doesn't matter, right? So we own everything that direction, everything this direction. We have everything, and we have some things that are doubled, right? Like everything in here is doubled.
So infinity.
So
to infinity.
all reals.
Okay.
You can do infinity, negative infinity to positive infinity, or you can do all reals. I don't care. Okay. Intersect. Where do we intersect?
-2.
Are you doing interval notation?
Yeah.
-2 to 3.
Bracket paren.
Bracket with -2, paren with 3. That's where we overlap. That's where the two lines cross each other. So look at where the lines are doubled at. Okay, maybe this kind of helped me shading them. Let's do this. Okay, so 2, this is this going this direction. That's 2 going that direction and beyond, right? That's 2. 3 is going this direction. Okay, so maybe by looking at where they're shaded, you can see where they're doubled. You see where it's doubled? Doubled in that region, right? Just in that chunk. So if that helps, like doing a shading thing, does that help at all or no?
What if you do different colors and mix
And
them?
then blend them in the middle, right? Very nice. Okay? All right? Questions about that? Those ones are a little tricky. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Woo! This is PEMDAS stuff. It's all been one big problem, okay? Now, where's my equal sign?
We don't have it.
We don't have one because it just says simplify, right? Okay, simplify. We're just getting it down as far as we can, right? If there were variables still in here, we wouldn't solve for anything. We would just get it down to where we could, right? Where would you like to start? The brackets?
Parentheses.
Which set of parentheses? Oh, there's only one set of parentheses.
Yeah, so you probably should start there, right?
Like start with the innermost piece. I have 3 sets of brackets, parentheses, whatever. Which one is the very, very inside of everything?
1 minus 6.
Okay, this guy is the very, very inside. 1 minus 6 squared. So we're gonna do that set first. We're gonna do this piece right here first. 1 minus 6 is -5. -5 squared is
25.
25. Okay, so this guy right here is 25. Okay, now what's my next set out from there?
Minus 18.
This little bracket. This is my next grouping that I'm gonna do. Okay, so 25 minus 18 is 7. Okay, so I've got 7, and I've just done this chunk. I'm gonna rewrite stuff.
Times 3.
Yeah, you're right.
And then 6 minus. Okay, so that's where I'm at now. Got it? 3 times 7 is 21. Then what?
Then subtract or add, I guess, the
Negative 12 plus 21. 9. Okay, so I've got this going on. What does that come out to be?
Hold on.
-3.
Negative 3. Final answer?
I literally guessed that actually before we even said
Look at that. You're a good guesser. Negative 3.
Get him out of here. He's being a distraction to the class.
No,
He's always a distraction. Actually, he is helping us a
He's
lot.
helping us.
So I'm going to let him go.
Here. I'll
Yeah.
help you.
The skinny part stays.
The skinny part stays.
Wait, if we're not. So it's not like a bold letter. It's like an outline.
You betcha. Okay. All right, good? Did you guys all get to negative 3? Questions about that? Start, when there's multiple sets of parentheses, just start with the innermost parenthesis and work out. Like a ripple effect, okay? Work out, okay? All right, now these lovely little things. Two things that we're multiplying together. This guy and this guy. What are we going to do?
Just burn it.
You're gonna boil it.
Burn it. Okay. You're not, well, kind of foil-ish. -3 and 4. Let's deal with that first. -12. Okay? All right, let's put the c's together. C squared and c to the -5th.
-3.
Is it -3 or -10?
I don't know.
3.
You're adding, so -3. I just had to make you think, though. Okay, d's. I have 7 here, and I have a d to the first power there. So d to the 8. Okay, now, simplify each expression using only positive exponents. So what's the problem here?
We're gonna move the 3 to the bottom.
Okay, c to the -3rd. Do I have a problem with the -12?
No, we don't care.
No, it's not an exponent. Okay, so this is what I see a lot when people have negative like numbers out in front. They're like, okay, d to the 8 can stay on the top, but we have to move the 12 and the c to the 3rd to the bottom. The 12 is not an exponent, so don't get trapped into that, right? You don't move the 12. The 12 stays on the top. So on the top, we have left what? -12, d to the 8th. On the bottom, c3, and that's it. Okay?
Oh my.
Good? Happy with that?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, not really, but like as good as we're going to
So
get.
this is gonna be lots of steps.
All right, B.
Flip it first.
Flip it first. Okay? This overall on the outside, your exponent has a -3. Here we go. I want it to be a positive third power. I don't want to distribute a -3 to all of the things, right? I want to get rid of the negative to begin with. So let's flip it and let's do everything just gets flipped. I'm not going to try to simplify anything until I flip it first. Now he's to the positive third power. Okay? I'm not going to do anything else. Okay? Now you could try to simplify some stuff inside of there, so you might not do the steps the same way as we will. Like 12 and 4 will reduce to 3. That might be faster. I don't know. Do you want to just distribute your 3 through?
3 on the top.
You just want to do that?
Sure.
Okay, what's 12 to the third power? Huge number.
Let me get the count to the door.
1720.
1720. Sure. What's y to the what?
1728 for
28?
1728.
Oh yeah, I'm.
He can't see. 1728. Y to the what?
Shut up.
Y to the what?
Huh? 6.
-6. 4 on the bottom, 4 to the third power is? You should know this.
Huh? Oh.
64. X to the
3rd, 6th,
9th.
9th.
Z to the -15th. All right, now what first?
Let's switch the x's and
Let's divide these.
Simplify. Oh.
1728 divided by 64. It is 27.
You're right, homie.
I did that in my
So
head.
27 on the top.
I did not do that in my head. Okay. All right. X to the 9th. He can stay, but the other two need switched. So Y needs to come down to the bottom.
X is between
Y to the 6th on the bottom. Z to the -15th goes on top, but he's positive now. Anything else?
Can we divide by 3?
Can we divide everything by 3?
I don't know if we do that. But
No, you can't. What?
Can we?
I don't know.
Can we divide everything by 3?
No, because they're
This is a number, and these are all exponents, so no. Even if it was just exponents, we still can't. You can't divide exponents. Good thought, though. I'm glad you asked that. Because that's the stuff that happens. That's what your brain tells you when you're taking a test and you're like, oh crap, should I do that or not?
I wasn't
So I'm glad we cleared that up right now. No dividing exponents. Okay? All right. C. What shall we do?
We should eliminate some K.
You want to try this one on your own?
Yeah, we can do it. We got it.
No?
I got
Try it on your own?
this.
I'll give you like 30 seconds. Try it on your own.
Are you gonna put your answer?
Yes. Yes.
Try it on their own.
Try it on your own. Try C on your own. Okay? Look at the numbers. Then look at the K's. Then look at the P's. Put it around your waist. Don't you have one of those like little flowy skirts? You know, like
Do you have two skirts or two?
no, not a hula skirt. It's like the disco
3K.
people. You know what I'm talking about?
Wow.
Where they have like little string skirts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Nobody knows.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, like the strings,
Like the grass?
like they
Like
used
the
to have
blue
in like
one,
the 70s or 60s.
Oh
or
my
whatever.
good, like from Hawaii.
The disco ball people. The disco people.
Oh, no, I know people.
You know,
I was thinking
What are those Hawaiian skirt things?
Yeah, the grass skirts.
no, not a grass skirt.
I want a grass skirt.
I'm talking about the skirts that are just like
Are you talking about the ones
Like-
that are like the shimmery, like strands, or what are you
they're
talking
like little strings, and they're like different layers. You know, they come down.
Like a weave.
Like a flowy. Flowy.
Really? I was picking at my knee and the glue came out of my hole.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, are you ready? 18 and 27. Divide by 9. So the top one is 2 and the bottom is 3. Okay? All right, so 2, 3. K's. I have 2 on the top and 5 on the bottom.
3 on the bottom.
3 on the bottom. P's. I have 9 on the top and 2 on the bottom, so I have 7 on the top. And that's all. Yeah.
You'd have a knot.
Very nice. Very nice. Circle your answer before we do it together. Have confidence. You did it. You did it right. I saw both of you like, I'm gonna wait to circle my answer until I saw it. And then you're like, oh yeah, circle your answer. Just do it. Circle your answer. You're doing a good job. Okay. All right. We got some square ready things here. A. Boo. I'm gonna do them off to the side over here. The square. What am I trying to do? Square root of 96. The square root of p to the 14th, and the square root of q to the 7th power. Okay. Can you take the square root of 96? Like right now itself. Does it come out nicely? No. Let's break it down. 96 is something.
81. What's after that? 9,
times 6.
10, 100. Yeah.
Oh, you do this? So 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 20 or 16, then 25, then 36, then 49, then 81. Which one of those numbers goes into 96? The biggest one.
81.
81 does not go into 96. Like
What do you mean?
evenly dividing.
Oh.
Yeah, 49 is 49 going to 96?
81 goes in the
Nope. Does 36 go into 96? No. Does 25? No. Does 16? 16 and
4.
6. Okay? All right, so if I take the square root of 16 is
Wait, how does 16 and 4? Oh, 16 and 6.
4, and the square root of 6 is the square root of 6. I'm sorry, Eric. We're all over the place with our trash can and everything. All right, the square root of p to the 14th. Does that one come out nice?
No.
Yeah, 14 is an even number, and you're just taking the square root, so just p to the 7th. Right? Okay, what about q to the 7th? Can we take the square root of that? No, we break it down into p to the q, and we hang one off, right? That would make 7 total. What's the square root of q to the 6th? q3, and the square root of q just stays underneath. All right? Now we jam it all back together, and it is
A lot of crap.
whatever Michael just said. I wrote it down.
That thing.
That thing.
I'm gonna rewrite it from this whole script.
Okay?
Oh, you should have given us more room.
I'm sorry. I'm right off to the side,
Well, I did that too.
but I can zoom in. Ha. I win. Okay, good?
Yeah, let's
Ready for the next? B. Can you add those together right now? No, but you can't add them together if they don't have the same base.
Well, we can.
But can we make them the same base?
4 and 3.
Okay, 12 is 4 and 3. The square root of 4 and the square root of 3. What's the square root of 4?
2 square roots of 3.
2 square roots of 3 plus the square root of 3. What's 2 square roots of 3 plus the square root of 3?
3 square roots of 3.
Is it 3 square roots of 3 or 3 square roots of 6?
3 square roots
Square
of
roots of
6.
three.
I have no idea.
They're the same
2
base,
square roots of
change the base.
This is 1 square root of 3. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Is it the square root of 3 or the square root of 6? Square root of 3. You don't change the base on the back of it, right?
That's facts.
Okay? If that's confusing to you, think about this. Let's say I have 3x squared plus 4x squared. That is 7x squared. It's not 7x to the 4th power. Agreed? You don't change the base on the back of it. You don't add the exponents together when you're adding. Okay? Like this is not true. 3x squared plus 4x squared, it doesn't become 7x to the 4th power, right? It's 7x squared. The base on the back stays the same. Got it? Okay? All right. Let's go to this one. 8 to the 2/3 power. Without a calculator, what does the 2/3 power mean?
Times 3 divided by 2.
Oh. Yeah, the third square root.
The 3 is the root. So this is the cubic root of 8 squared. You want to square underneath or you want to square up here?
Underneath.
Wait, whoa. The next 3 are all the same.
I don't want to do that.
Different numbers.
It's good for you.
I want to square outside.
No way.
It doesn't matter which one you do. If you square underneath or square outside. I want to square outside because the cubic root of 8 is nice.
But,
It is
4.
2 and 2 squared is 4. Yeah. Right?
Guess what?
Okay.
Can't we just put these in our calculator?
Good. Maybe possibly, but if you don't type it in right, you'll get the wrong answer. Okay, what does the negative 2/3 power mean?
On there you can.
On the bottom.
0.25.
It is.
If you give me 0.25, I'll count it wrong.
Why?
Because that means you typed it into your calculator. I don't want you to do that. What's that? What do you do with a negative exponent?
Move it to the bottom.
Move it to the bottom. Right now it's over 1, right?
So 1.
Okay. So I'm going to move it to the bottom. So I have 1 over 8 to the 2/3 power. And we just said 8 to the 2/3 power was 4. So 1/4. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now what about negative 8 to the 2/3 power?
Yeah. No, it's still.
Okay,
No.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's do the cubic root of negative 8 squared. Okay. What's the cubic root of negative 8? What times itself 3 times will give you negative 8?
Negative 4.
Negative 2 squared is positive 4.
My calculator says negative.
Yeah, my calculator says negative 4.
That's why it's not quite right.
Let me try it out.
Quite right.
Because 2 negatives equal positive 4.
You gotta put the negative 8 in parentheses. Then you get positive.
Yeah, then you get a domain error.
Well, I know.
Yeah. So positive 4 because you're squaring it.
Yeah, I got a domain error.
I don't know. All right. Good. 7. What time do we get out of here?
46.
46.
42.
42. Okay, let's do the first 2. Oh, let's do the first 3 because those are really fast. Maybe they're really fast. A. What are you gonna do on A to factor it? How many pieces is it?
A 3.
1, 2, 3. What can you do?
7.
A squared B.
You're gonna. This is the greatest common factor. So put GCF onto the side. Okay, we're gonna pull out. What did you say? 7. 7 and what else?
A squared.
A squared and
A B.
a B. Do you guys understand how you get 7A squared B?
Yep.
Like, what's the greatest thing that I can pull out of all of those? Okay, if I take 7 out of 21, left is 3 because you're dividing. You're not subtracting, right? How many A's left? None. B's? You have 4. Minus 14 divided by 7 is 2. How many A's? A, B 3.
Plus
Okay, plus
5.
5,
A
A squared,
squared.
and that's it. I need to move my parentheses in. Was that confusing?
That's pretty good actually.
Who said yeah? Mallory? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, so do you get where we get 7A squared B? Yes? Okay, then all we do is just divide. So 21 divided by 7 gives us 3. Okay, then how many B's are left over? So if I'm pulling an A squared out of an A squared, there's no A's. If I take a B out of B to the 5th, there's 4 B's left. You see how that works? And then you just keep going on and on and on. Now, if you're confused, I would so legit do this. Multiply them back through. 7 times 3 is 21. A squared, and there's no A's, so I have A squared. B times B to the 4th is B to the 5th. And make sure it matches. Does that make sense? Distribute it back through, like foil it back out.
That takes
Okay? Now you don't have to write it down. You could foil it back in your head, right? Like just look and make sure that it ends up being the same, right? Okay? All right, B. Woo! How many pieces is that?
We can.
Can you take something out?
Not an X.
You can't take 4. You can't take an X.
No, send it to my pieces.
There's 4 pieces. You're right.
We're gonna have to
1,
do
2, 3.
grouping.
Ooh, can we group it? Group the first, group the second. Group here, group here. Okay. All right, this is a factor by grouping. Do you remember how to do this?
Take a 3x.
I'm going to write that off to the side. Factor by grouping. Okay. All right. Take, what do you say out of the front?
A 3x.
A 3 and
X squared.
x squared, right? 3x squared. Okay. All right. If you take a 3x squared out of 12x cubed, you're left with 4x, right? And then minus 3x squared out of 9x squared, 3. Okay. What are you going to take out of the second piece?
A negative 10.
Negative 10. Okay. If you take a negative 10 out of 40x,
4x minus 3.
4x minus 3. Perfect. Okay, that's what we want to have happen. All right, now I have 2 chunks. I have this chunk, and what they have in common is 4x minus 3. If I yank that out, what's left over?
3x squared minus 10.
3x squared minus 10. Questions about that one? That was a lot of work. That was a lot of steps. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. That's like doing a complex trinomial, but they've already separated it into 4 pieces for you, right? Okay. And I did not put any complex trinomials on this, so you're gonna be all right.
So much.
But I will on the test.
No, you will not.
Just kidding. Just kidding. All right, last one, C.
Mrs. Olson's 8-hour class, you are to go to Mr. Strepp's room, Mrs. Olson's 8-hour, go to Mr. Strepp's.
Okay, C. What is this thing? He's a simple trinomial. ST, put that next to him. Simple trinomial, what do you multiply to get 63, but when you add them give you 2?
We need negative 63. So
63, yeah, negative 63. So P and P.
it's like
7 and 9. What combination of 7 and 9?
negative 7. Negative 9.
Negative 7, positive 9, because I want positive 2. Will that do it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Like, give us a bunch of those, right? Okay, that's all. We'll stop there. Because we're going to run out of time.
Are you doing it tomorrow?
Yes, comments are quick.
Oh,
We don't go it all
okay.
day quick.
Goodbye, people watching.